Ah. Check, check. Oh, crap. It's always something. Testing 1, 2. Do we now have audio? It says we do, but this time it was not M3's fault. It was mine. For you newbies, M3 is this very obnoxious diva cat that I got several years ago as a Christmas gift from from my wonderful friend Question Mark of Question Mark and the Mysterians, who were a very popular band in the mid 1960s. They are from Michigan, and they are the first band that the press ever referred to as punk. So my punk buddy Q gets this cat dumped out on his farm with all the other cats, and it is either getting beat up by the feral cats or it is beating up the feral cats. So what does he do? He and the drummer of the band package this cat up and give it to me as a Christmas gift. Now, I love cats and I love M3, but M3 is notorious for jumping on the keyboard, getting behind the modem and pulling the wires out while I am live streaming. So there are constant jokes about M, things like that that he likes to do. Um, I don't want to be on camera because I just had surgery and I look really bad. But yeah, right. Just because I needed something else to do. You got it. Like working with that band is not crazy enough. Um, I wanted to show you, I found my old box of stickers from when I lived down in Georgia, and I have made a sticker board. I still have some space down here on this board if anybody wants to send me some stickers so I can finish that board and start a new one. That'd be really groovy. I am going to get some more stickers done. Um, Now I'm going to start my show all over again since I didn't have any audio. And I'm going to go through the list of everybody that came in from the raid over at Bionic Bull 88. Starting out with Todd Newton, who won the Wonder Woman silver round that I really wanted, but I didn't get it. It's okay. Todd needed it. Anna, I'm Crazy, Bottle Top Bandit, Sean 47, Weed Stacker Not Whacker, Legit Sir Noob, Silver Tongue Stacker, Mr. Minix, all those people came from Bionic Bull, and I thank you very much. Some of you are already signed into my friendly group on my channel, and some of you did when you came in. Thank you very much. Then I saw Detector Kev from the other side of the pond, so we are international today. Got our representatives from over there. We got Mississippi Mary Detecting, one of my longtime channel members, and I just watched one of your videos a few minutes ago, Mary. Joel is in the house. Let's see who else is here. Mark Thomas, Mr. Computer Helper Extraordinaire. He has really done a lot for me since I made him a mod. And I made him a mod because he was helping me fix all my mistakes. All right. So, Lucky James Eller's in the house. Furry Plants and Coins. And this is actually metal detecting night. This is sweeping the dirt. But the reason that I got into metal detecting, unlike some people get into it because they want to look for relics, or they want to look for metal toys or things like that. But I like coins. And years ago, when I was a teenager, my dad had a Sears metal detector for a while that was actually made by White. It was a really good detector. He traded it to somebody for an outboard motor. But while we had it, I started finding coins, and that's how I actually first started collecting coins. And then I got a job in a grocery store, which was great because my boss would allow me to buy coins out of my till if somebody came in and they spent silver or Indian heads or anything. Of course, this was in the 60s, so silver was still pretty much in circulation. So I would set all those coins aside in my cash drawer, and at the end of the day, my boss would let me buy them out of my drawer. And so that was kind of, those two ways are how I started collecting coins. And I laugh sometimes at some of the videos that I watch of detectors out in the field, and they're finding, $9 or $10 worth of clad coins, which, and they'll go, oh, well, it wasn't a very good day. We didn't find any gold. We didn't find any silver. We only found $10 worth of clad and these toys and somebody's car keys and a couple of iPhones. So it wasn't a very good day. And I'm sitting there going, you found $10 in clad? Honey, I want to go hunting where you are because I want to get in line down at the Taco Bell. Give me some money for food, dude. And I don't understand, because I go out to have fun. I go out to clear my head. I have a lot of health issues, and I go out there with the attitude that as long as I don't get skunked, if I find one penny, I am not skunked. I just go out there to breathe the fresh air, wander around out in Mother Nature, look at little critters. I'm not wound where I have to get a bazillion dollars worth of 200-year-old coins. Would I like to? Heck yeah. But I don't like when detecting is represented in such a way that people think they could just go buy a detector and run out there and they're going to get rich, because that's not how it works. I don't know of anybody in this country or anywhere in the world that happens. In Great Britain, I don't know if Kev is still in here, but over there, for the most part, there's a lot of things. If you find them, you have to turn them over to the government. You don't get to keep them, because they're considered historic things. America, we do things a little bit different. They just won't let us dig the stuff up at all if it's historic. And I think there's a problem with that, because why, if it's historic, what good is it doing history if we have to leave it buried in the ground where nobody can see that piece of history? Wouldn't it be better to allow us to dig it up and put it in a museum so that classes full of kids and all of us old farts can go in there and look at it and say, hey, that was from the battle my great-great-grandfather was in the Civil War? Wouldn't that make more sense than leaving it in the ground and letting it rot? But every state has to have their own set of rules, and the federal government's got to have their set of rules. So that's one of the reasons I started this little series that I'm doing now, where we are working our way through the United States, state by state, in alphabetical order. Now, I am not going into the rules and regulations of those states because every state is so complicated. But what I am doing is showing you little bits and pieces of how your average detectorist does in their state. And then if you're going to their state, you can either go get on their channels and ask them how to find out the regulations, or you can just search for them. And you got to be careful. My home state of Florida is nuts. There are places in Florida, and I'm going to use Orange County as an example. It's where Orlando is. Orange County proper, you can detect in all of their parks except for a couple. They will provide you with a beautiful map and a numbered list of all of their parks, tell you which ones you cannot detect in. You do have to get a permit, but it is a pretty simple process. And they are so open. But do not make the mistake of going into a city of Orlando park. I lived in Pinellas for years, Joel. I worked in Pinellas County Coastal Management doing all those beach restoration projects that they did back in the 80s. Yeah, I'm very familiar with Pinellas. As soon as I got out of high school, 3 days later, I lived in Clearwater. So I know Pinellas really well. Anyway, you don't want to screw up in Orlando, and get into the city of Orlando, because they will confiscate your equipment. They are totally the opposite. I wanted to go back to a park that when I was in elementary school was what we used for our playground, because our school didn't really have a playground, but this city park was next to it. So they would just walk us over there, and that was our playground. I wanted to go back there and metal detect and make a YouTube video. Now, in order for me to do that, I was going to have to go in front of the city commission and apply for a special permit to do the detecting. And then I was going to have to apply for a separate permit to make a 20-minute film with a GoPro camera. And that permit was going to cost me $3,000. And if I tried to do it without getting the $5,000 and some odd dollars worth of permits for my little 20-minute video, they would confiscate my equipment and possibly arrest me. So you got to always check. Even if a city is within a county, the city's rules and the county's rules may be very different. And Pinellas County is like that. There's places in Pinellas that it's perfectly okay but there's towns within Pinellas where it's not perfectly okay. Fortunately, I know Pinellas well, and I have other detecting friends there, so I don't really run into any big issues. The biggest issue I've run into in Pinellas was that I sat down in a park one day to change the coil on my detector and got chewed up by chiggers, but that's a whole nother thing. There's lots of bugs in Pinellas. Well, we're not going to focus too much on Florida tonight because we're working our way down the list. And tonight we're going to Arkansas. Now, I don't know. I have cousins that live in Arkansas, but I don't know a lot about the terrain and the equipment that one would use and that sort of thing. And I have a couple of subscribers who do live there. So I'm going to share little pieces, parts of a day in their detecting life. We are going to visit Ram Detecting. He is from, I believe it's Carlisle, Arkansas. And after we visit him, we are going to have a visit with Diggin Arkansas. I'm not going to show you their whole videos, but I did pick a couple of short ones, and their links are in the description of this live stream, so you can go over and check them out. But this one absolutely cracked me up. It just was so funny. And since I mentioned Taco Bell, we're going to watch a little of Ram Detecting's video called Land Ranger Pro Series, Scores rather. And the Land Ranger is a bounty hunter. He has several different detectors, but this particular day, he and his family were on a little excursion, and he was detecting the yard of a little B&B that they were staying at. And the subtitle of this is Taco Money. So, here's another one, happy with some taco money, not trying to, I mean, sure, we'd all like to get rich, but that's not really the point of the hunt. And everybody looks for different things. In his case, he's got ones where he's searching tot lots, and then he's got ones where he's searching Civil War areas. He kind of likes to search everything. I have another friend out in California, really doesn't like searching parks and dirt. He likes the beach. It takes a different kind of person to search in grassy fields and places with a lot of roots and stuff, because it's just a different kind of digging. It really is. It's actually a little bit harder to dig in the dirt than it is to be digging in the sand, but it's a lot harder to walk in the sand than it is on the turf. So you've got a little trade-off going there. Let me see if I can get this pulled up here. It's like everything is a little bit different. Now, why can't I get this to come up? There we go. That's where I want to be. Now let me make it bigger, and then we'll start it. I'm not starting it right at the beginning, but this is just a little bitty lot at the backyard of a B&B. And he is out there with his little boy, and he's detecting. And this is kind of what happens. If I can get it to, I've been having computer issues today. Things just don't seem to want to always function for me. All right, here we go. Come on. Oh, you dog. Please run. It doesn't want to start.
Well, now it's just.
Here we go.
It's beginning to be a game. We got us a Guinness Stout. Ah, that's so much fun. Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to get the Wheel of Doom for having too many things open.
That's so much fun. Okay, guys. Sissy found a worm. Show them your worm, Sissy. Oh, see, you gotta stay still. So, be still. Oh, yeah, there's his worm. But,
oh, it's going to lag on me.
it is very quiet. Really pretty clean for this little backyard. It's a lot of little iron, probably just stuff from building this. These little houses aren't very old, but we are kind of in a very old town. There's a huge Civil War battle here. But we got a coin signal, and I think we got a penny or maybe another dime. Let's look. Oh, so, oh, it's a worm. Yeah, we got us a 2019 penny. So 12 cents and a worm. And a bunch of bottle caps.
12 cents and a worm. I love it.
Anytime we can make a little money, 12 cents, and get some toolage out of the ground, I say it's a pretty good day.
There you go.
Looks like we got us an Allen wrench there. Pretty rusty.
12 cents, a bottle cap, and a worm. It's a good day in the neighborhood, folks. See, this guy's got the right idea. You just get out there and you have fun. Yeah, 12 cents, some bottle caps, and a worm. And some toolage. So that's a little glimpse into the life of ram detecting. And now I've got to pull my other one back up. I had to shut all the windows that I had lined up because my computer is lagging. When I first turned it on, it was trying to go into Windows Update, and I made an effort to stop it because otherwise it was going to cut into my show. But yeah, I just like the attitude there. You know, he was not at all upset that all he was finding was bottle caps and pennies, and his kid brought him a worm. I mean, that's the way it should be. You should be out there with the mindset, this is going to be fun. Not with the mindset that, oh, if I don't get $50, it stinks, you know, because then you're doing it wrong. Not with the mindset that, oh, if I got an echo. There we go. Kill the echo. Now let's go to Diggin Arkansas. See if I can get that pulled back up. Now, see, I like all kinds of detecting. I will detect anywhere. I just will. But I'll tell you, there was a trip I took in Florida where I was on the East Coast, just south of Beverly Beach, which is kind of between St. Augustine and Daytona. And the sand was so thick that I was having a hard time walking, and this was before I got sick. So sometimes the beach is not my friend. We'll put it that way. Okay, let's see if I can pull some Diggin Arkansas up. But beach erosion liners. And Joel is a marine structural engineer. Clearwater to St. Pete. Yep, I know it well. I used to have to file all those permitting reports with all the Department of Natural Resources and Swift Mud, all of that. I had to learn how to do that, print aerial photos. Okay, we're going to go back to Arkansas now. Oops. Hang on, I got that, but I don't have my volume. We're having all kinds of sound issues today for some reason. All right.
Oh, Larry.
Here we go. These guys are out at an old church and school.
It's actually a silver spoon. They cool if it was the whole thing. That is silver. We're going to hit a couple places today, and we're going to show you what we found. He'll just call me over. He said he got a clad quarter, and then he said he had a silver dime in the same hole. So
now look at their soil. Their soil is very different than the soil in New York or Michigan or California. Means that whatever the settings are that I'm using here in Virginia may not be what you're needing to be using in
44.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
But this looks like a fun place to be. He's finding clad and silver in the same hole.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, he's perfectly happy with the clad quarter. And
Bill just told me he got a silver over there too. I'm fixing to go look.
Yeah, this was not the video that I intended to share tonight.
Yeah, because I got the camera.
But I accidentally closed my link.
That's a quarter.
So now there's something else I like about these videos. These guys are showing you digging the holes.
52.
I don't like videos where I'm looking and they've got the item in their hand and you can see that the ground either is not disturbed enough or the item is perfectly clean.
All right, I'm happy with that.
I don't like when I see something that looks planted. That means they're trying too hard.
We'll get right back to you. All right. Bill tells me I'm holding him up here. He's got holes with silver's all in them. Don't tell me to hurry up.
Oh my. Well, that's just too bad. Old ladies like me don't hurry. That's the other thing. I'm not in a hurry when I go out there.
See what year it is.
I'm just out there to have a good time. All right. Well, anyway, if you would like, you can go visit those two channels, learn a lot more about what is available in Arkansas. I do want to go down there for a couple of reasons. One of them is because I have some cousins that live there, but also because in addition to what looks like some pretty good places to go detecting, they have a diamond mine down there in Arkansas where you can go and you pay your money, and you can either pay for a bucket of dirt or you can pay to go dig for the whole day and go diamond hunting. And people find some real, there's people that are there every day. That's their job. They go out there and hunt for diamonds, dig in the dirt every day. And I would like to go to the diamond mine, and I would also like to go detect on my cousin's property. I'm pretty sure at least two of them own farms. So anyway, that's a little taste of Detecting in Arkansas. I'm real excited about, and by the way, both of those channels are subscribers to my channel. I'm trying to shout out people that are on my channel, if at all possible, as I work my way through. Now, next week, I'm really excited about, because next week we're going to California. And I bet everybody can guess who one of the channels I'm going to spotlight is. And that is going to be my buddy, Robert Ferguson. I absolutely love Robert's laid back style. And in addition to the beach detecting that he does, style, and in addition, here we go again with the sound jumping in and out. Anyway, Robert also does gold prospecting. Indiana Tones. Yay! Indiana Tones is in the house. Hi, Lou. So anyway, we are going to be working our way through all 50 states, and I'm going to try to do the territories if I can find people in our territorial areas that are also doing detecting. And I have my list, and some of them I have already made the selections as to channels I'm going to feature. Like, gee, let me see, under New York, what does it say? Oh, Indiana Tones. Wonder who that guy is. Yeah, we're going to take a visit when we get to work our way to New York. We're going to go watch Lou. I might even throw a little bit of Lou picking up the trash in Staten Island in his suit in there, just because I think it's a cool thing to do. Be classy, not trashy. That's my boy. Yeah. I was on the, I was doing my emails today, speaking of New York, and I am a little tiny puny Calico affiliate, which means if you use the link from my about page and you buy your detecting and magnet fishing stuff through Calico, they send me a little bit of money. But I'm a little bitty guy. I'm a little fish in the great big pond. Well, Mr. Lou is buddies with the big fish in the pond. And that's Metal Detecting NYC, Mr. Merrill. And I had my April affiliate letter today, and the top performing affiliate for last month was Metal Detecting NYC. And it listed what he won for being the big fish. And what he won cracked me up, because he won a Calico hat and a Calico beanie. And my first thought was, Merrill needs that beanie to hold his crazy in. I don't know, Tones. I would be really happy if I had the amount of subscribers and viewers that you pull on a regular basis. I have been fighting all week. I kid you not. The beginning of the week, I had 797 people. Now, I've built my way back up from being out sick for a couple of years. And so the other night, they got me to 803. And I can even tell you who was number 800 was Jericho and Hercules Prospecting. And we were also excited because they got me to 800 and they got me to 803. And I got up the next morning and I was back down to 798. So the next day, 2-3 more people got me back over 800. And blip, this morning I was back to 799. So then I was over in one of my coin groups on Bionic Bull 88, and they did a raid on my channel tonight and uh, got me back to 807. So we're going to see what happens tomorrow morning. And I've been posting like every day. I pretty much always do thumbnails. Um, I do keywords, probably not enough or not the right ones, but there's a limited amount of things I can do. And then just to add the insult to injury, um, I have been making these retro videos. There's stuff I found two cards that had been taken out of my GoPros back when I wasn't doing anything. I took the batteries out and I took the cards out because I didn't want anything corroding in them. So I find the two cards, and first thing I did was laugh because Merrill lost two cards, but these are definitely not his digs. Um, so I've been making these little videos and scheduling them to come out at random times so that my channel will remain active should I get sick again. And I have the license permission to use several different artists' music because I worked in music for a lot. And one of them I fought with 2 years ago. I fought with YouTube about, and YouTube had to take the copyright claims off because I was able to prove that the people claiming to own the rights to that music, in fact, do not. And I know that because I work for that band. So I did a short yesterday and I used some of our music in it, a song that we've already hashed out with them before. And sure enough, they slapped me with a copyright claim again. So I'm sitting here right now with 4 copyright claims, none of which are going to hold up on YouTube's part. And, you know, I just sent them the dispute. Here's the license number. Here's the contact. Here's, you know, yada, yada, yada. So it's frustrating because I put in a lot of work and I feel like I'm doing the cha-cha, you know, 1 step forward, 2 steps back, you know, and the thing is, the only reason I want the channel to monetize is so that I can pay for things like postage when I give something away, or mailing supplies like envelopes and, you know, padding and that kind of stuff. And so that when something gets broken, I can replace it. Right now, I've got to send my simplex to be repaired through no fault of my own. Well, a little fault of my own. Friendly piece of advice for all people who own metal detectors. Do not come in after you've been out in the field and stick your metal detecting bag behind the door, because some other person is going to come in and throw that door open and smack it right into your detector, which is what happened to my simplex. And now it has a cracked screen. Now the machine works, but that crack renders the waterproof portion of the machine null and void. So I'm going to have to send that in. Oh, and now I see the wheel of doom. Wheel on the bus, go round and round. Oh, crap. I hate it. Why am I getting the wheel of doom? Oh no, I hate it. Oh no, oh no. Oh crap. Oh my. I am so sorry. I don't know if you can hear me or not. Everything's busticated. It's busted. Okay. I got the wheel of doom on mine. I'm gonna keep going. We'll see. Y'all let me know where we're at. Looks like it's working okay again now, but okay, I'm good. Yeah, I made a change the other day in my. Okay, thanks, James. I made a change in my internet speed the other day, trying to save some money because my internet bill was getting pretty outrageous. And ever since, I've been having problems. So I may unfortunately have to go back to paying out the yin yang to not have that issue. So anyway, next week we're going to go to California on our adventure. And obviously, one of my channels is going to be Robert Ferguson, but I have not made the decision yet who the other one is going to be. Robert is primarily beach detecting and gold prospecting. So I'm going to try and find someone in California that does something different than that and lives in a different part of the state from Robert. So I got a week to figure out who that's going to be. I know I'm going to get myself into trouble when I start hitting some of these states where, like Florida, because I can only feature so many, and being from Florida, I got a lot of friends down there, a lot of detecting people I know. Maybe I'll make a collage or a montage of assorted folks that I watch down there and try to focus on people that do different types of detecting, because I know I'm going to get myself in a jam. And then I have a lot of Virginia people. I have a lot of Michigan people, and I will be going back to Michigan hopefully in August. I now have a relative who is going to assist me with my move because they understand that I need to get up there for medical reasons. And right off the bat, I have an 80-acre farm that I have a permission on. So I'm really excited about that. And then Digging with Deej is going to take me to some of her spots. Swing for the Ring, detecting with Randy, some other. I got a bunch of people up there. I'm so excited because when I was there before, I did not have a detector and I wanted one really bad, but I didn't have the money to do it. Now I've got the detector. So, there he is. I've been waiting for this all night. The cheeseburger with in paradise. Mr. Archaeology Mikey is in the house. I knew he'd be here eventually. Oh. I knew he'd be here. He always comes in and gives us the dinner report, makes everybody hungry. That's his job. That's part of his moderator position, is to come in here and make everybody hungry. Oh, now there we go. I'm telling you, I just don't know what to do with the boy. But he helped me out last night. Was it last night that I found the 2000 white AM penny? Yeah, anyway, he was helping me out last night. So, yeah, I found a 2000 white AM error. But the problem is that it's not a very good 2000. It's kind of a cruddy one. But he definitely had a reaction to it. About to cook egg rolls. Egg rolls. I haven't had egg rolls for a while. Can't wait to take some pictures. Yeah, I'm waiting to see that, Mikey. Your 72 DDO. My computer is just acting up. I need to take a whole day and go through this computer and run all the diagnostics and just clean everything up, because it's running slow and it's just being a butt, and I don't like it. So that's going to be a project all of its own, and I need to clear a lot of stuff off of it. I've been making a lot of videos, and I've kind of got it gunked up. And then they upgraded, I'm using quotation, air quotes on this, they upgraded my antivirus program, and now it wants to stop quarantine things, like it's quarantining things in Microsoft and just who did we just see? Who did we just see? All right. Let's see if I can get this video. Oh, well, I'll have to figure this all out later. I made a special thing just for Mikey, and now I can't get it to play.
He likes it. Hey, Mikey.
I was trying to figure out how to put a cheeseburger in the bowl, but I wasn't able to do that. That's part of a 1960s or so Life cereal commercial. Evil arch conservative. Most exciting is I will be planting tomatoes and picking cucumbers this weekend. Can already taste green and red tomatoes on a hamburger. Yeah, I am upset. We have all this land around this complex that I live in. This is a senior complex. And I asked them if we could have a garden, because the one I lived in Georgia, we had beautiful gardens, and we also had patios where we could grow plants. Well, when I asked them here, all this land going to waste. They won't let me metal detect it because they're afraid I'll leave a hole and some old lady will fall in it. Well, hey, I am an old lady. Why would I leave a hole for me to fall into? You know, so that's the first dummy thing. But the second dummy thing is, well, we don't really think that the gardens would be a good idea because people might be able to see them from the shopping center up on the hill, and then they would come down and steal the vegetables. Really? That's your reason why you're not going to let a bunch of old people have some tomato and cucumber plants because you're worried about somebody from the vape shop up on the hill coming down and stealing our food? Oh, gimme, gimme. So I guess I'm going to have to go down to my storage and get out a big pot and get rid of this one that I have here that used to have an aloe in it that died, and plant one tomato plant and one pepper plant in it, and that's going to be my garden. And then next year when I am in Michigan, I can plant on my friend's farm. I will dig the holes while I'm metal detecting and then throw some seeds in. And we will have a dual purpose metal detecting hunt while we plant tomatoes and such. Does anyone have any detecting questions this evening, or anyone that you would like me to feature their channel when I get to their home state on the list, including your own channels if you have metal detecting videos available on them? Mikey just got an Equinox 600. He's going to be starting to detect some. I'm excited about that because Mikey knows his stuff as far as coins and relics and stuff. He's just got to learn the flip side of it, the regulations and so forth, and how to use his machine, and he'll be good to go. My grandfather used to rent a gardening spot. Find a neighbor or friend who will let you plant a garden. At this point, I'm probably going to be moving back to Michigan in August. So I've kind of given up on trying. Well, you can buy a really cheap, crappy detector, Joel, but you won't really do well with it and you won't be happy. But the one that I use, I use the Nocta Macro Simplex Plus, and we call it the poor man's Equinox. It is a really good mid-range detector, and with the wireless headphones, it ran about $325. Now, the one Mikey got costs about twice that much. And yes, it's a lot better detector, but you can do wonders with the Simplex. I had a Garrett that cost a little bit more than that, but the primary difference between the two was that the Garrett, number one, was a little bit heavier, and number two, only the coil was waterproof. My Simplex, the entire unit, is waterproof, so I could dive in the water with it and go down up to 10 feet, and it's waterproof, which when I was living in Georgia was a very handy thing because I'd get stuck out in the middle of a field just about every day. It would start pouring rain, and I'd be trying to protect the electronics of the Garrett by sticking it in my shirt or trying to wrap my arms around it. And Evil, I might know somebody that can help you with that. I know somebody that owns a couple of them, and he probably knows. And he may even have one for sale. So I will certainly ask him on your behalf and see what I can find out. Hey, Surfer, I have been getting better. All things considered, right now, my biggest problem is my eyesight. They found some crazy thing growing behind my eye socket in my brain, and they don't know what it is. So last week they did a biopsy on my brain, and I'm waiting for the results. But I have pretty much recovered from most of the other health issues that I was having. I have been able to go out and do a little detecting. And I have this wonderful friend here. His name is Anthony Newton, and you're going to see him in some of my upcoming videos. We call him Fig, Fig Newton. I see your question, but I'm not sure what you're asking. It says, should I get something to project my metal detector? Do you mean protect your metal detector, or do you mean project the sound of your detector? I'm a little confused on your question. To get something protect. Well, I got a bag for mine, Mikey. I bought it from Calico, and it was under $30, and it has a couple of zipper pockets, and I have my detector, an extra shaft, all three of my coils, a charger. I got a ton of stuff in that bag, and I believe my bag is waterproof, but just in case it wasn't, I sprayed it with the stuff that you use to waterproof tents and stuff with. Here's my Calico book. Let me look and see the 2022 catalog. But yeah, I would definitely, if I had a detector like yours, I would keep it in something, but don't put the bag behind the door and then let somebody open the door and smack into it. But it's a good, oh, and I have my pinpointer in there. You can keep all your stuff together in the bag, and it keeps it from getting dirt and water, and it also keeps people from looking into your vehicle and seeing that you have a detector in there. This is something else I recommend. I see a lot of people that detect putting stickers on their vehicles that say so-and-so detector or whatever. I don't recommend doing that, because it's kind of like telling people, hey, I got an $8,000 bag full of stuff in my car here. The bag I got is called the Calico Red Elite Metal Detector Bag, and it was $39.99, Mikey, at Calico, of course. And it will definitely hold a lot of stuff, and it makes it easier to carry all your stuff too. You know, instead of having to make 2-3 trips, you know, you carry out, like I have 3 different coils for my machine. You're welcome, Evil. I will definitely check with him. Let me write that down real quick so that I remember which model you are interested in, because he's got a ton of detectors. He buys them and tries them, and some of them he keeps, and some of them he will keep for a while, and then he will sell them. So no harm in asking him, because I know he did have some of their detectors. I don't know which models, but he would be the guy that would probably know. I'm writing myself a note right now. I have a couple people I can ask. I gotta make sure I write down who I'm doing this for, because I'll forget tomorrow. Okay, so I got that noted. I will email him after the show and see if he can be of any assistance. Hey, John Jacobs. Yeah, if you are going to buy anything, if you go to the About section of my site, down in the About section, there is a link to Kellyco Detectors. And if you click on that link and you buy from them through that link, it will give me a small percentage back out of what you spent for my channel. It's not a lot, it's like 5%, but you know, it adds up and allows me to get some things to give away and stuff like that. So yeah, I would definitely recommend keeping all your stuff together in a bag, Mikey. I used to not do that, and I was so happy. Most of the bags are a universal size, made to hold just about every type detectors there are. And what you can do if the bag is a little bit too short is just flip your connection where your lower shaft goes into the upper shaft. Just flip that open and close your, put the shaft in a little bit so that it fits, and then you can adjust it back out in the field. But most of them are pretty universal in size. There are a few that are specifically made for certain models, but if you check the dimensions of the bags against each other, the Kellyco bag is just as good as the other bag, but it might not cost you as much. I mean, I have put my bag through all kinds of abuse, and it looks like it's brand new still, and I've had it out in the field, and I got mud on it once, and I was able to just take a damp cloth and a sponge and clean it all up, and you can't ever tell that it was that it was as gross as it was. But it will make your life a lot easier if you keep all your stuff together. Like before I had the bag, I lost my charger cord, and I ended up having to buy a new one. And right after I bought the new one, then I found the old one. So that was like money that I really didn't have to spend. And if I had all my things in a bag, I wouldn't have had to use that money for that. I could have used it for something else. But yeah, there's a lot of detectors in the $250 to $500 range that are all good detectors. They're just from different companies. The main thing you need to do is figure out what am I going to be wanting to hunt. Like, I will tell you up front, if you want to be primarily beach detecting, for example, the Simplex is a good machine, but it's not the best on the beach unless you really work with it and get your settings right. By the same token, if you're going to be detecting parks and fields and that kind of stuff, it's a killer machine. It just depends on what you want to hunt, where you want to hunt, how much time do you want to be underwater and how far underwater. Because if you want to do serious scuba diving type detecting where you're going 80 to 100 feet down, you're going to have to buy a pretty expensive machine to do that. But if you want to go 8 feet down, 10 feet down in a river or something, the simplex would be fine for you. The Garrett machines would be fine for you. It just takes a little time to do your research so that you don't end up with a machine that's not suited for your location. I was so happy when I got the simplex. I went to the places that I had been over with my Garrett, and I thought I had pretty much hunted these areas out. You know, I wasn't getting a lot of signals anymore, and I just wasn't finding much there. And after I had the simplex for 2 weeks, I sold the Garrett. I took it apart, cleaned it all up, put it back in the box with all the paperwork and everything, and I sold it. And I don't regret the decision, because for my personal need and where I was, yeah, I know what you're talking about, Mikey, and I'm pretty sure you're talking about one that Garrett makes. I haven't really looked at those because I'm not a diving kind of person, but there are a number of detectors that are made specifically for people who want to do more deep diving. One of the people I would recommend you watching who does a lot of that is a young man from North Carolina named Nugget Noggin. And you will see him using several different underwater detectors. But like I said, if you're not going to be doing that on a regular basis, you're not really going to want to invest $2,500 in one of those. You know, you start getting into some really high-end stuff where if you're just going to be once in a while diving in the river, you don't need that. Another one that is a beach water kind of thing is the Lab Excalibur Ii, that is similar to what you're describing, but they run $1,500. Are you going to use it enough to make that something that you would want to invest in? I do know some people who, what they have done instead of buying that is to buy an underwater pinpointer for a couple of $100. But yeah, some of the stuff, like I said, when you start getting into like Noka Macro has one called the Pulse Dive Scuba Detector. I'm trying to find the price on that right now, but I don't see a price for it. But they have one, and it's a small handheld like you're describing. But the difference between it and some of the others is the coil is a little bit bigger. It has an 8-inch coil. But like I said, it depends on how much you're going to use it. If you're going to go scuba diving every day or, you know, several times a week, you might want to spend the $2,000, $3,000. But if you're going to go 2 or 3 times a year, you're probably not going to want to invest all that money in. They really haven't gone up too badly yet, Mikey. I've got the 21-22 catalog here, and I looked up the other day for Patty Disharoon. I looked up a coil for the simplex. Now, I bought mine last year, and the coil, and I paid $105, and that coil now is $109. So it went up $4. You know, not really a super rise in almost 2 years. So far I don't see a lot of big price jumps. I see them kind of holding steady, or maybe just a few dollars. In fact, I'm going to look at the pinpointers because I know what I paid for my pinpointer, and I've had it for 3 years now, and I paid $129 for it, and it is a waterproof pinpointer, and it's now $144, but that was 3 years ago, so it really hasn't gone up that much in 3 years. So anyway, what I would suggest that you do is, like I said, follow my link. It takes you to the same Calico site. It just links it back to me, so that if you do buy something, I get a little something for the channel. But go on their site and just put in scuba detectors, and it will bring you up all the scuba detectors that they carry. And Calico is one of the biggest detecting distributors in the country. So they, if it exists, they either have it or they can order it. A lot of times it might say out of stock, and if you email them, they can order it. They'll order it for you. They just don't. Some of the more high-end stuff, they don't want it just sitting there on the shelf waiting for somebody to come along and say, hey, I want to spend $5,000. So just because it says out of stock does not mean they can't get it. It just means they may not have it in the showroom, and they can get a hold of the company and try and procure it for you. So I had emailed them today, but my guy that I deal with there is on vacation. I emailed him about sending my machine back for repair. It still works, but because it's got that crack in the screen, I need to get that fixed, because that makes it not waterproof. Water could get in there, and then it could ruin my machine, and I don't want that. And so when I send it in, I have my brother's bounty hunter that he gave me, and so I'll still have a machine to use while my other one's getting fixed. And we will get some interesting video out of me playing with a 20-year-old metal detector. I mean, I know it still works because I've had it out a couple of times, but I'm learning more about it, and it is a machine that they still sell to this day. So it's not like I'm going to be doing videos on something that nobody would ever use. So that being said, I do have to get that fixed. And that's why I said, do not stick your detector or your bag behind the door when you come in and go running off to the bathroom, and then not put it away, because that's what happened to mine. Somebody opened the door, smacked the door into my detector bag, and it hit right on my screen and put about 1.5 inch crack in my screen. And I didn't know about it until a couple weeks later. So and my machine is no longer in warranty because I've had it past the warranty. So I'm going to have to pay that out of my pocket. Metal detectors. When we are back down in Florida, I will take turns in using it so he can get a better idea of what they are. That is a really good idea, Mikey. I have 3 detectors. I have one, it's like a $40 detector, but I did find my first gold with it. I keep that detector because it's basically, if it beeps, you dig. It doesn't differentiate. It doesn't have different frequencies or anything. It's just a beginner's machine. And I keep that one. So when kids come up and they want to, they're interested and they want to try it, I'm not going to hand them my good detector, but I will ask their parent. I'll say, bring your mommy or your daddy or whoever you're with over here and let me talk to them for a minute. And I will ask them, is it okay if I let them do this? And I show them I have this little cheapy detector that they're not really going to be able to hurt it. And if they do, I don't care. And some of the kids, they get bored with it very quick, and then the parents know, don't invest in this. Other ones get so excited and really want to continue doing it, and so they have a better idea because I've actually put one in their hand and let them do it and got them to understand, no, it's not going to find your plastic toy. It has to be made out of metal, and just different things. But same thing with adults. My niece's daughter went out in their yard with me one day, and I let her use the good one. I explained to her, the VDI numbers and what she was looking for and what she was trying, what she needed to be hearing. And they want to get one for their family to use. And they have, in preparation for doing that, they've been watching metal detecting videos on TikTok and YouTube. And when they came home with me from my surgery last week, we watched some different people that I watch, and we watched some tutorials. But the fact that they had a couple of different kind of detectors here that they could hold and see and hear makes a big difference when you're trying to decide if you want to invest the money or not. And I highly recommend that if you are a detectorist and one of your friends or family members are interested, take them out with the detector and let them do a hands-on. And don't be like the little jerk down in Florida, whose name I'm not going to mention, that charges people $50 for that. I think that is horrible. I think it is a bad representation of metal detecting. That, oh, you want to try it out? Well, give me $50 and then I'll give you a 20-minute lesson. Really? Oh, come on. That's awful. I hate that. But there's all kinds of people in everything. There's people that rip you off in the coin community. There's people that'll rip you off in the detecting community. And then there's people that are happy to share their information with you. I try to do that, even if I only get 5 or 6 people in my show. If I can help one person, and then I'm happy. And I'm going to give you an example. Patty DeSharoon, who comes in my channel pretty often, and you'll see her in some of the coin channels and some of the other detecting channels. She just recently won a detector in a contest on one of the channels, and she happened to win a simplex, which is what I use. And so she was in someone else's live stream, and she asked them if they knew anything about the VDI numbers on a simplex, and he said, no, I'm sorry, I don't, because I use an Equinox and our numbers are different, but get a hold of Susie because Susie uses a simplex. So Patty got a hold of me, and I sent her my list of what rings up at approximately what numbers on the simplex. And 2-3 days later, I get this email from Patty, and she had found her first gold ring with her simplex. I didn't charge her $50 to tell her what numbers to look and listen for. You know, somebody said, hey, this lady needs some help. I gave her all the information I could give her. You know, and she will periodically email me a question in regards to that detector. And if I can answer it, I do. And if I can't answer it, I'll look it up and find an answer for her. But I'm just the very idea of somebody charging $50 to show someone how to use their new detector, I found that appalling. But that's the same guy that went up and knocked on the door of a lady's house to ask permission to search in her yard, and he knocked on the door with a gun. Now, they have removed that video from YouTube, but honey, somebody knocks on my door with a gun, I'm going to meet him with a gun. Is that really how you want to get a permission to detect in somebody's yard, by trying to intimidate them with a gun? Are you kidding? That's not how this game is played. It's just not. That is so far away. I wish they had removed his channel, Mikey. I really do, and I am not the only one. But he did change the name of his channel to something very similar to someone else's channel, and really messed that guy up for a while. I don't normally, in my videos, say bad things about another detectorist by name. I might say in general that I don't approve of this or that, but I won't call somebody out by name. But I did call him out by name because I wanted people to see what he had done. Thank you for coming, Joel. I hope some of what I told you was useful information. And if you have any questions, you can email me. The Nightbot just posted my email up here. And if I don't have the answer, I'll find somebody that does. Because I do whatever I can to try to help other people get started. So anyway, there's my email. And thank you so much for popping in. I'm going to go here pretty quick myself because I got to have something to eat. And Mikey didn't bring me a cheeseburger and fries. So I'm going to have to go fix my own. But I'm going to make homemade pizza instead. So on that note, I'm going to go take my meds, fix me a little something. Probably I have a video coming out tomorrow. I think around 4:15, a metal detecting video, and maybe here in a little bit I may come back on and sort some more penny rolls because I'm not tired, so I may do that as well. I am hoping next week to announce a metal detecting giveaway. I'm waiting to hear back from somebody on that. So I thank everybody for coming, and I'm going to go to the doctor on Friday and see what they have to say and see if he will clear me for going out to detect again. I know there was some concern about making sure I don't get dirt in my eye right now. while it's healing, but we'll see what they say, because believe me, as soon as they tell me I can go out there, I'm going to be out sweeping the dirt. Good night, everybody. Thank you for putting up with all the technical difficulties. Go visit the 2 channels in Arkansas that we visited. Tell them I sent you. You might learn something new and see someplace you might want to go detect someday. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a great night.